So I've heard some people in my generation are saying that new YouTube is better. And I'm here to tell you that, one, that people actually aren't saying that, and two, it would be fucking wrong anyway. If you weren't around for YouTube's prime back in like the 2016-ish era, which was the best year ever, by the way, especially for people around my age of 24, you would know that YouTube was peak compared to what it is now. 2016 YouTube was ran by guys like PewDiePie and Smosh and Markiplier, all guys who are considered legends nowadays, but at the time they were in the middle of their run. That was also like prime vlog time and like sketches time as well. And also pranks too. Pranks were a big thing back then, which nowadays is like the meme culture of like saying the N-word in the hood is like the big thing, the meme. But back then people were actually making those kind of videos. I think the main thing that really separated the YouTube back then compared to now is just the authenticity of everything, you know. Back then it felt like people who were just trying to make funny videos or make videos for themselves, where nowadays it feels like a lot of more stuff is put together in corporate, which is why with my channel I just wanted to do like a just casual, laid back, one-man crew kind of thing, just a sit down talk kind of style, because I feel like that's missing nowadays. Back then there was a lot less editing as well. That's not to say there were videos that weren't like highly edited videos, but I remember like a lot of the Minecrafters, like Skydoes Minecraft, who would just sit there and film videos over and over again with no editing and just do like Let's Plays or whatever, which was peak. Guys like Bayesian Canadian as well would sit down and film over and over and over again for like over the span of one day, and then have videos to post for like a month, which is low effort, sure, but he was making a bag off of it, which me as a 13-year-old kid, I loved that shit. I was eating that shit up every day, getting home from school, turning on that new video, man. It also feels like nowadays a lot more creators are focused on pleasing the algorithm compared to actually pleasing the people who are watching. As a small creator, I've kind of experienced this already, just a few videos in, because there's been videos where I post and I think will do decently well and they don't do well at all. And then there's some that I'm like, this video is pretty shit, and I'll go out there and post it and it takes off. Which that's not to say that people didn't like it, but I guess it's like the algorithm likes certain things over others, you know, which I think a lot of bigger creators that actually rely on this as a full-time job think about a lot more than somebody like me would, who's just doing this for fun right now. I think clickbait was pretty prevalent back then too compared to now. Clickbait nowadays, I think everybody just kind of knows that it's fake. It's not actually what's going to happen in the video. Back then it would be like super over the top and people just like ate that shit up, man. You know, me included. Like I said earlier about the Minecraft videos, if I seen a title that said like saving 1,000 puppies in the water in a span of half an hour, I'd be like, oh my god, I could go watch that video. But I think in general, it's just we could tell that the creators nowadays don't love the videos as much as they do back then, just because YouTube is such a lucrative business. Again, it was back then as well, but nowadays you have some creators that are making like athlete kind of money, which is fucking insane to me, which, you know, I'd love to be on that train too. I'd say almost probably the biggest problem nowadays with YouTube is the ads and stuff. Like, the ads are fucking crazy. Back then you would get like a 5-second skippable ad. You say, oh, whatever, just skip it right quick. Or, you know, sometimes you get a 15-second unskippable, whatever, you would just eat it. Pause. But nowadays, bro, I was watching TV downstairs before I got premium a couple weeks ago, and I had like a 90-second unskippable ad. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, damn, I'm just trying to watch some golf creator. I was trying to watch some golf creator, and yeah, I had to sit there and watch that ad. But nowadays, I just feel like it's even worse than what it was back then. And don't even get me started on having ads in the middle of a video. I'm sure I'll get to that point at one point on this channel where I have to do that. But especially when I pay for YouTube Premium already, I'm like, the point of me paying for Premium is not to have to watch ads. So having an ad in the middle of the video, although it benefits the creator and gives them money, I'm just like 10 second, 10 second, 10 second, 10 second until I get to the other side of the ad. I don't want to watch that shit, man. You know, sometimes the ads are fine, whatever. You know, I'll sit there and watch a Raid Shadow Legends ad here and there. Raid, you know, hit me up. All like the other ads, you know, like BetterHelp is a big one right now too, and I've heard really bad things about BetterHelp, which could be another video. So whenever I see that ad, it's just boop 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 boop. Although my mental health could use it, but no, I'm not gonna use that shit, man. If it's if some creator is telling me to use it, that's not gonna influence my decision at all. Maybe for some people it will, but I'm not that kind of person. There also was more experimentation back in the day as well, like people just doing like weird sketches and shit, which you're starting to see a little bit of a comeback of that now, actually, because YouTube is starting to push people who authentically talking to the camera compared to a full-on like crew of people like Mr. Beast. That's not to say that he doesn't get pull numbers because he does. But I think a lot of people are more so want to go back to the creators being more authentic compared to not. Just because people are tired of seeing that fake shit, man, me included, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, I got my fucking pajama pants right here. I don't give a fuck if y'all see it or not. I don't care. Because I'm sure all y'all houses are dirty as fuck like mine is. But it's just like random ideas and stuff had a lot more of power on YouTube compared to like the put together videos or whatever. I feel like niche hobbies and stuff also kind of contributed to that as well. Like people were just doing whatever the fuck they wanted to do, which I love. I think early YouTube was probably a lot smaller as well, less mainstream compared to what it is now. I think it's the biggest video viewing platform now, right? Compared to what it used to be. That's not to say it wasn't big before. Again, started That's Not to Say counter, because I think I've said it 4 times in this video so far. Anyway, you know, back then when you were watching YouTube, like that's been my go-to platform since I was like 10 or 11, which would have been like 2011, 2012. And yeah, I remember watching guys like This Is a Deep Cut, All Sham No Wow. That's a deep cut, man. That was one of my first YouTubers I ever watched. His Dead Rising 2 gameplay, when that game first dropped, loved that shit. Anyway, nobody's gonna know who I'm talking about. I think a lot of people thought that they belonged to a community more so than what they do now, where it's kind of has like the Netflix-ish feel. Back then, it kind of had like the Tubi feel that Tubi has nowadays, right? Where it's like the Tubi movie meme, you know, that's the thing. YouTube wasn't like that. Like, there was a little bit more polished, but it was just raw, authentic content, man. And I'm saying all this to say that old YouTube wasn't perfect either. Like, the video quality was a lot lower on YouTube before, which, again, like me, I don't really care, to be honest. I actually prefer the lower quality videos. A lot of the videos I watch on my YouTube, besides like my golf stuff, is like lower quality small channels. And that's not to say that small channels all have low quality, because there's some really good small channels out there, not mine, but some other ones. And yeah, I just feel like they have really good stuff sometimes, man. They have really good things. The one thing I do love about new YouTube is there's so many new YouTubers popping out of the woodworks, where back then I feel like it was kind of like you had your set guys or girls, whoever, and outside of that, you know, if they weren't connected to them in some way, it was going to be really hard for them to blow up. To be honest, in conclusion with this video, I feel like it's just nostalgia, to be honest. It's just nostalgic, you know? Back then, in 2016, I would have been 14. I would just be starting high school, and that was a great time in my life. That was probably the best time in my childhood. I had a rough childhood, you know, off and on, and that 8th grade going into 9th grade year was like fucking perfection. It's the best time with my boys. It was the best time media-wise. You know, a lot of the jokes and shit that I say, I learned back then, today, right? So I feel like it's just nostalgia at the end of the day, which is okay. That's totally cool, you know. I think it's a bad thing to try and reject nostalgia, but you can't lean into it too much, right? Which I think we're kind of teetering that line at the moment. But yeah, I just think old YouTube was really fucking good compared to now. Back then, YouTube was a small niche website where people could just share videos that they wanted to. Well, I feel like nowadays it's just this media giant, and it doesn't have the same feel to it. Which again is okay, because YouTube's getting their bag, right? And that trickles down to all of us creators and stuff that are starting to create on here. So I think you should enjoy new YouTube while also remembering how good YouTube used to be.